Peace. This is Aaron. Peace for healers. I wanted to do a video just to create some awareness on some things that are currently happening and currently changing or exposing. And what I want to put up, well, first, this is Aaron, Peace for Healers. The first thing I want to just note is this is not a political post. I try to avoid doing political posts. But I just want to clarify I personally am not a fan of either of the parties that exist within the construct of the country that I live in. They're two parties with opposing views, but there always has to be an opposition for those in power to basically obtain what they want. In my opinion, at this point, I really feel the parties are going to do what the parties are going to do, and ultimately, it's still going to reach the same goal regarding those that are in true control. So the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I want to just give a perspective and create a perspective and create the the idea that how you view things, how things come out for you, where you come out at, depends on your discernment. It's really going to be up to you to have discernment. There's a lot of things going around right now. It's about to really, really be a significant amount of lies, finger pointing, people trying to cover their behinds, and there's no pun there. Um, People trying to deflect, and it's truly going to be up to you and your discernment to have an understanding for all of these things that are going on and all the things that are about to happen. And I do also just want to note an important factor of how you approach your discernment is you have to pay attention. Discernment is discernment, and sometimes you have to use a little bit of common sense as well. One of the parties now, and I've also noticed a pattern in one of these two parties where they create a narrative and everyone follows the same narrative, whether it be the academically or the politically aware down to the most confused, unaware, uneducated politically, all basically spouting the same version of what's going on. The new thing that I'm seeing that this party is doing now is they're creating an image of saying the right things in certain aspects. And I'm just going to be perfectly straightforward. There's a congresswoman that went on to a, a TV show for an interview recently. And it was a TV show where I would have expected her to be combative and argumentative with the other hosts of the show. And if you knew nothing about her politics, you would think that everything she said was wonderful, caring about people, caring about America, outside of the fact that she clearly stated, I'm in support of Trump. But if you take that one thing away and just listen to what she said and you didn't know anything about her background, you would look at her and say, wow, she's a wonderful congressperson. And that's that's the image that the Republican Party is working towards here. They're going to take and create an image for individuals where that individual is saying some really wonderful, kind, amazing things, even though they don't necessarily believe everything that they're saying, but they know that enough people will listen and not understand the motive. And like I said, this congresswoman, listening to her interview, she was as sweet as pie. And when you get down to it, for lack of a better way to put it, she's a witch. Well, no, I don't even want to call it. For lack of a better way to put it, she's a horrible person. I don't. She's not a witch. She's a horrible person. Witches are not bad, so I don't even want to vilify witches by associating her. But I was thinking of the word that rhymes with witch, but I choose not to use that either. As horrible of a person as she is, but she's a horrible person. To listen to her on social media on that show during that interview, I would have, if it was the first time I saw her, I would have thought that she was wonderful. As I watched that interview, it was a bit sickening to me because there's so many people that will take away from that interview, wow, she's really wonderful. She's this, she's that. She's all for America. She's all for her constituents. She's all for people in need. And unless she's a totally different person, which, I mean, once you say I support Trump, that sort of speaks for itself. But this is a perfect example of if you do not use your discernment, there could be confusion. So we have this that's about to happen. And I came to this conclusion from the the sacrifice of Mr. CK and the fact that so many people spoke so highly of him based on a line or two from some of the things that he attended and participated in and totally ignored or never heard the other 95% of what he spoke about or what he talked about. And that's that's their new agenda. They're creating this image of we're loving, we're this, we're that. You have to have your discernment. If you can't make the discernment of what's going on, you're really going to be lost. And once all of this pointing that's about to kick off, you're not going to know who to believe, and you're going to be, I mean, literally, you're going to be confused because you're not going to have any understanding. So ultimately, you want to work on your discernment. Discernment is key to many things going ahead and what's coming in society and just in general. Discernment is an amazing thing to have, and discernment is something that we all have access to, we all have within our arsenal. But it's up to you to learn how to use what you have available. So ultimately, you want to know how to get yes or no answers. And you want to, there's yes or no answers that go with any of the gifts that a person has. If you can't get the yes or no answers, you're going to struggle knowing who to believe, especially in the next within the next month. There's going to be so much stuff flying around, and I don't want to see anyone lost to the nonsense that's in process and the nonsense that's coming. For and I just want to say the gifts and guides sessions that I do, include a portion of a segment on getting yeses and nos based on what your gifts are. Um, the gifts and guides readings are 155.55. DM me if you'd like to schedule. Um, there, the well, I mean, ultimately, the gifts and guides readings are what I consider to be among the most important readings that I do because when you do a gifts and guides reading, it allows you to understand yourself and to be able to do things for yourself rather than having to depend on someone else to get a reading done or for answers. So that's for me, it's one of the most rewarding readings because I love to see when someone has the capacity to do something on their own, and I like being the catalyst and the reader that puts a person in position to do for themselves. So definitely consider the gifts and guides readings. I am contemplating doing a, a basically a shorter reading where we focus more on getting yeses and nos. It's something I'm contemplating for people that may not want to expend for the cost of a gifts and guides reading. And I just want to emphasize any spiritual work that you're doing that you're paying for, it's an investment in yourself. There's a lot of people that say that there's anyone that's doing spiritual work should be doing it for free. And that's not true because there's always meant to be an exchange. Even if it's a small exchange, there's meant to be an exchange. So there are some people that have said that they felt my costs were too high. If my costs don't resonate with you, so be it. I can't make myself resonate with where you place yourself. But I will say the costs for what this reading offers, the cost versus what you get from this offer, it's really worth a whole lot more than 155.55. And most of the people that are aware of doing readings of this type have said to me time and time again that's you're not charging enough. So right now that's what the price is. The price is going to go up, but I will consider putting out the possibility of doing a shorter reading and basically teaching you how to get those yes nos. But ultimately, I recommend go with the full gifts and guides reading so that you know who's talking to you and you have more detail as far as your overall gifts are concerned because that's highly important also. And the more you understand yourself, the better you connect to source, the better you can hear your guides, the better you can make decisions, and the better that you can be in having the confidence of saying, I always know what I need to know before I need to know it. Your guides are always talking. The universe is always speaking. If you have any questions on anything that I've mentioned here, feel free to DM me. DM me to schedule. And I hope to hear from you soon. This is Aaron, Peace for Healers. I love you. Make sure you love yourself more. And watch out for the lies, finger pointing, and everything that's about to come. Peace.